because my dad was gassed in the First World War. Discharged at the end of the war with gas poisoning and suffered from severe bouts of bronchitis for the rest of his life. Burnt the skin off the inside and the outside of it.
Yeah.
Mustard gas. You know, he and his mates apparently were on duty, on sentry duty the night that happened, and they didn't leave the flap of the dugout open long enough, so they went in and the only two that got poisoned. I went in 3 weeks before I was 21. So I had I went in on the 30th of January 43. I was back on the streets before Christmas 45.
But you tried to sign up earlier and your dad wouldn't
He
let you?
wouldn't sense it because of his service, see. But I got there. You were told that it was on, not where you were going, but you're told the briefing would be at a certain time. So you'd go down to the briefing room and all the crews that were going was in there. Whoever's in charge of the squadron would show you on a plan up in front what was on, which route you were taking, and then you'd have the weather report and everything, so that you got all the information you needed. The navigator would then go and sit down and draw up his chart as to where you're going, and with the information you got, work out your courses, because when you're flying, you're not just going from one point to another. The wind, whichever way it comes, is knocking you off that course. So that if you don't allow for the wind, you want to go this far, and the wind's coming this way, you're going over this way. So you have to make a fix every so often to make sure that you're going to the right place. If you find that the wind has changed, well then you've got to get the skipper to alter the course so that he's heading back to where he's got to go. Radio beams in various parts of England, but they were never really reliable. And they had what they call a G-box in the aircraft. Lots of times it didn't work properly, but it was like a small screen which came up with calibrations on it that you could read and transfer so that it would tell you where you were on the map. So that was one. And later on we got what you called a H2S, which underneath the belly of the aircraft behind the bomb bay was a bubble. And that was a radar thing, and it sent a beam to the ground, and when it hit the ground, if the beam had come back, it would show you the exact shape of towns. If it hit water, it wouldn't come back. So you could see where shorelines and rivers were. And it was later in the war that we got that. And we used it extensively on mining trips mainly, where if you dropped your mines more than half a mile from where they were supposed to go, the whole mission was aborted because they reckoned a half mile would allow a big ship to get through. If I got up and stood behind the pilot, I could see what was going on. I see a navigator sitting in the kite, you've got your pilot and engineer there, and then you've got a curtain that you can pull across to keep the navigator and a wireless operator without if it's night time, you'd have the light on to work by, so the light wouldn't go in and reflect on the windscreen for the skipper and show outside. Well, if the fighters up above you,
Yeah.
that's it. See, our rear gunner shot down an ME-109. They used to get up above the bombers, and some of them would drop a flare, see, then dive down in amongst the mob to try and shoot them down. And that's what happened when the rear gunner got the kite. He just come straight down, and the rear gunner got him as he went by. So one way or another, it all works. Well, the longest trip I was on was just on 10 hours to Dresden. And then the next night, another 9 hours to a place called Chemnitz. And they've changed the name of that town now, which was 90 miles west of Dresden. And Dresden was nearly all on fire when we got there. We were in the second wave of, first of the second wave of 500 bombers. The first wave, of course, they'd missed most of it because they wouldn't, the first ones anyway, would only see the aftermath of when they turned away from the target to go back home. So you had a route to go in and a route to come back. Because you had a job to do. So you did it.